Story title: The Little Candle That Refused to Go Out. A story about resilience when life gets dark. Written by Dia Ranti Medjugorje. What do you do when everything around you goes dark? Do you give up because the light is small? Or do you protect that little flame and believe it can survive the darkness? This is the story of a little candle that looked insignificant, until one dark night, the entire village discovered that sometimes the smallest light is the one that keeps hope alive. In a small village lived a young girl named Amara. Amara's father owned a tiny candle shop. Among all the candles in the shop was one small candle that nobody wanted to buy. It was short. Its wax was slightly damaged. Its flame was not as bright as the others. People always chose the bigger, brighter candles, but Amara loved that little candle. One evening, she picked it up and said, "You may be small, but you still have light inside you." She placed it carefully beside her bed. She had no idea how important that little candle would soon become. The night everything changed. That night, something unusual happened. A powerful storm swept through the village. Thunder shook the houses. Rain poured heavily. Then suddenly ... everything went dark. The electricity disappeared. People searched for matches. Some candles were lit, but the strong wind kept blowing them out. One by one, the lights disappeared. The village became completely dark. The little flame. Amara lit her little candle. The flame flickered. Whoosh! The wind almost blew it out. Amara quickly covered it with both hands. The flame became tiny, almost invisible, but it remained alive. Her father looked at her and said, "Amara, perhaps you should let it go. The wind is too strong." She shook her head. "No, Daddy. As long as there is still a little flame, there is still light." The first person arrives. Suddenly, someone knocked violently on their door. Bang, bang, bang. Amara's father opened it. An elderly woman stood outside, soaked from the rain. Please, she cried. "My house is completely dark. My granddaughter is sick and afraid." Amara looked at her tiny candle. Then she looked at her father. She carried the candle outside. One flame becomes two. Amara entered the woman's house. The sick little girl was lying on a mat, frightened. Amara placed her candle beside her. Then something beautiful happened. The elderly woman found another small candle. She lit it from Amara's flame. One flame became two. Then another neighbor arrived. He lit his candle from theirs. Two became three. Soon, people were moving from house to house, carrying candles and sharing the same flame. Nobody was losing light by giving it away. Instead, the darkness was disappearing. The village has light again. Within an hour, the village that had been completely dark was glowing with hundreds of tiny flames. People could see one another again. Children stopped crying. Families came outside. Neighbors helped one another. And everyone kept asking, "Where did the first light come from?" Someone pointed toward Amara, the little girl. The little candle, the candle nobody wanted, had become the candle that helped an entire village find its light. The morning after, the storm finally ended. Morning came. The villagers gathered around Amara's father's shop. The little candle sat on the counter. It was almost completely burned down, but nobody called it useless anymore. The village chief looked at Amara and said, "Last night, you taught us something we will never forget. A small light does not need to become a big light before it becomes useful." Amara smiled. She looked at the tiny candle. Its work was almost finished, but its light had already passed from one person to another. Maybe you feel like that little candle today. Small, tired, almost finished. Maybe life has blown against you again and again. But listen, Your light does not have to be the biggest light in the room to make a difference. Keep burning, keep believing, keep showing up, because somebody may be finding their way through the darkness because you refuse to go out. Lessons to learn. 1. Never underestimate small beginnings. Something small can make a very big difference. 2. Difficult seasons don't last forever. Darkness can be real without being permanent. 3. Protect your little flame. When your strength is small, don't give up. Protect what remains. 4. Your light can help someone else. You don't lose your light by helping another person shine. 5. Resilience is continuing despite the wind. The candle survived not because there was no wind, but because it refused to go out. 6. You may be someone's hope. Never assume that your little effort doesn't matter. If you're going through a difficult season right now, don't give up. Comment, "My light will not go out." And if you know someone who needs this reminder, share this story with them. Thank you for watching till the end, and please like, comment, follow and share.